Now, welcome to another Path to Ahsoka video. This time it's Zeb we'll be talking about.
Garazeb Orrelios. Well, I'm not saying that name again because everyone just called him Zeb. He was born on the planet Lira San. He is a Lasat. The names are so similar. He was actually recruited to be a member of the Honor Guard of Lira San. He received military and combat training, as well as his bow rifle, the weapon of the Honor Guard. He was promoted to the rank of captain, even.
Ooh.
He was charged then with protecting the royal family of Lira San, his people. All that came to an end when the Galactic Empire decided to devastate Lira San with T7 ion disruptor rifles and wiped out nearly all of his people, including his family, save for his grandmother. He fought to hold the Imperials back from the royal palace until a bomb went off, leaving Zeb to awaken in the ruins of his people and retreat like any other survivor. He had a lot of personal responsibility. He felt so much guilt for what happened because he was the captain of the guard. He was meant to protect these people, and they all fell under his watch. And he also, of course, then would hold a deep hatred of the Empire.
Anyone in particular?
Oh, we'll get there. He doesn't know anything like that yet. Because of what had happened, he kind of became more of a gruff and agitated person. He was more quick to violence and rage. And after the massacre on Lira San, he believed he was as good as dead until he was found by kanan jarrus. By the time he was 39, he had joined the Ghost Crew in their fight for freedom against the Empire. When Ezra joined the Ghost Crew, he and Zeb, putting it lightly, did not get along. Ezra was kind of always teasing him and making fun of him and telling him he smelled bad, and for some reason they decided those two should bunk together.
Well, I mean,
Zeb
who else wants to bunk with... It's like the
Zeb's
new guy
like
has to bunk with Zeb.
39, and Ezra's like...
17, 15, 16... No, actually, like, at the
he's
start of the
younger,
show,
yeah.
he's like 15, yeah.
It's kind of insulting. Like, hey, you get to bunk with the child. And he's like, are you serious? The kid's always making fun of me. Hate that kid.
Well, take a shower, Zeb. Maybe it won't stink so bad.
The pair would eventually form a tight relationship, becoming as close as brothers.
Yeah. They kind of rip on each other as brothers will.
They do. They really have... You can see it throughout the show. They do start out with a lot more agitation towards each other, but you can tell later on it's starting to be more in jest and friendly.
Yeah, they're teasing each other more than actually just mad and not liking each other.
And behind his outward appearance, Zeb was actually very compassionate, and he cared a great deal for the fellow members of the Ghost Crew, and for anyone really who was negatively affected by the Empire. He has a strong sense of morality, and he usually tried to appear stoic and serious-minded, but with his dry sense of humor, it occasionally showed a more childish side to Zeb.
That's why they put him with Ezra. It worked.
Yeah. His skills weren't an asset to the crew, but he was very impulsive, so it occasionally did cause him some trouble. He went on many missions, but was kind of more of a background member of the crew for a lot of the show. But he did have some really cool moments of development, and those are the ones we're going to choose to talk about, because most of it's just he's in the background helping with a mission.
He doesn't get much.
No, he doesn't.
He has one big thing, really.
Yes, the big thing.
Yeah.
It's funny, in this show, you could say almost every member of the Ghost Crew has their own personal enemy.
Kinda, yeah.
Hera's was Thrawn.
Yeah, that's not...
Yeah.
If I had to pick one not to have, it'd be Thrawn.
Kanan was like the Grand Inquisitor.
Yeah. Well, they all were kind of Thrawn,
Sabine
too.
was Gar Saxon.
Gar Saxon, yeah.
So they each kind of had one, and we're going to get
Ezra
into...
kind of had Maul, too. It was kind of a...
Yeah, Ezra had Maul.
friend-foe kind of thing there for a little
he
while.
was the main character, so he got a lot more time to show
Yeah, he
things
got more friends and foes, shall we say, along the way than any of the others.
But you can't talk about Zeb without mentioning Agent Kallus of the ISB.
There's the thing.
He's an Imperial officer who ordered the deployment of those T7 rifles that devastated Lira San. Zeb challenged Kallus over and over, especially when he learned that Kallus had a stolen bow rifle, the sacred weapon of the Lira San Honor Guard. Kallus goaded Zeb into believing he had murdered the guard who once carried the weapon, and that he did personally take part in the extinction of Lasat.
Yeah, it's, it's going to be hard to forgive that, right?
Yeah. Later, Zeb and the Ghost Crew rescued 2 Lasat refugees from the Empire, a former Honor Guard member and a mystic. They were headed to Lira San. It was a legendary planet prophesied to be a safe haven for the Lasat people. Zeb kind of scoffed at the prophecy and expressed his skepticism because he was struggling with the guilt of his failure to protect his people. during the siege of Lisan. But Ezra, there he is, his buddy, convinced him to help the pair. They performed an ancient ritual that kind of pointed to an area that was uncharted in wild space, and they set out to find it, and boom, they found the planet of Lisan. It's hidden. Yeah, it's hidden like within a gas giant, and
like a nebula. I think kind of like Exegol. You just need a wayfinder.
You just need a wayfinder, or in this case, a magical prophecy.
Hey, why not?
They went down to the planet's surface, Zeb and the other Lasat, and discovered millions of Lasat lived there, and that was their species' original homeworld. So they aren't extinct.
No.
Let's move forward then. On another occasion, Zeb and Kallus crash-landed on an icy moon that orbited Geonosis. Zeb surviving unscathed, Kallus had a broken foot. After the two emerged from their escape pod, Zeb began gathering supplies from the ship. Kallus was wounded, and Kallus taunted him, saying that the Empire would eventually find them. Zeb responded that he wasn't letting that happen. They had a portable heater, but they're on an icy planet. It wasn't enough to keep them warm. Zeb managed to find a damaged transponder, and Kallus suggested Zeb should repair it so the Empire could find them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Zeb said he would rather take his chances with the cold and whatever beast lived in the cave that they were hiding out in than being jailed by the Empire. But Kallus responded he would do his best to ensure Zeb got a fair trial.
Oh, sure.
Zeb was skeptical, of course, though, because of seeing what the Empire had done to his people.
We've seen how fair the trials are in the Empire and Andor. Very fair.
Yeah. Zeb did manage to repair the escape pod transponder, but to pass the time, the pair exchanged views about the Empire and the Rebellion. When their little portable heater eventually broke, Zeb found a meteorite that was giving off heat. Two of them kind of hung out with that. And then the creature that they had heard in the cave earlier attacked, and they joined forces to drive the beast away. Zeb then questioned Kallus about the sterilization of Geonosis, something which Kallus insisted he was innocent or unaware of. When Zeb examined the bow rifle trophy that Kallus carried around with him, he discovered it was modified for your close quarters combat. Zeb asked Kallus how he obtained it, and the ISB officer revealed he had not stolen it. He explained that he got it from the Lasat warrior, who he did defeat, and the Lasat warrior gave it to him for fighting honorably against him, which is a custom that Zeb respects. You defeat me, take my weapon, I guess.
You keep what you kill.
It's a totally different franchise. Lasat gave it to him while he was dying. They resolved their differences in the cave, kind of found a better understanding of each other, and Kallus expressed regret for his involvement in the fall of Lisan. He insisted it wasn't personal, and Zeb was like, yeah, I kind of came to terms with what happened.
This is very similar to the movie Enemy Mine from a long time ago. I mean, it's a kind of a common thing, but it was well done. It's one of my favorite episodes of the whole series, honestly.
And the next morning, the two of them were awakened by the roar of engines, and it was actually the Ghost crew that picked up the transponder signal and not the Empire. Zeb invited Kallus aboard and stressed that the rebels would treat him fairly. Kallus responded that he preferred to take his chances with the Empire. As a parting gift, Zeb left him the meteorite as a token of their newfound friendship. Zeb was greeted by the fellow rebels at the gangplank of the Ghost. What's interesting is that this event would change Agent Kallus. And they don't show it on screen, this happening, but he actually became a fulcrum agent for the Rebellion, helping them out from within.
Yep.
So Zeb actually converted an ISB agent into one of the good guys.
Yeah.
Be cool to actually see him in Andor. Just see him walking in a hallway or something, and be like, oh, it's Mutton Chops! There he is!
It's pre-hot Kallus.
After the Galactic Civil War, Zeb took his friend Kallus along the secret hyperspace path to the planet of Lira San to show Kallus that he hadn't destroyed the Lasat people, that they were thriving on their new homeworld, and he was welcomed as one of them.
Well, actually, their old homeworld, but yeah.
Yes, old, new, whatever.
Same
it's
thing.
New to them.
Yeah, it's new to Kallus, that's for sure.
Yes. Zeb later joined the New Republic Defense Fleet. Around 9 ABY, he was hanging out at the Adelphi base when Captain Carson Teva and him had a little chat about the pirate situation on Navarro, and that was what we saw him in The Mandalorian. And Zeb was like, you're not getting an answer from them because they don't return dispatches anymore. And yeah, he wished Carson Teva good luck with trying to recruit people.
Yeah, Zeb looked really good in that.
He did look really good.
I thought that was impressive. Yeah,
I was really happy with that.
There's really not much to the story of Zeb. He is maybe the most neglected character in Rebels.
I mean, Chopper got some episodes, probably as much screen time as Zeb did.
Yeah, but Chopper, I mean, it's hard to give droids especially a non-talking droid. Well, not that he doesn't.
I feel
talk
like
in
they
his
had
own
the
way.
same number of like individual episodes because Chopper had a few individual episodes.
Yeah, Chopper had a lot of moments to shine. He might outshine.
He even had a friend.
He did, yeah, AP5, yeah. It's kind of his 3PO there. But no, Zeb didn't get a ton of love in Rebels, but that's okay because I think he filled that kind of need of the wrecker of the team, the big kind. I mean, he does, right?
He does.
He's kind of that
he's the big burly guard.
Yeah, he's kind of lovable.
That's what he was there for. That's what he did on Lira San, and he was a good character. Another, they really made a nice, well-rounded crew of individual people, and while they couldn't spend as much time fleshing each character out as I wish they could have, he was really well done within the show.
Yeah,
and I'm glad to see him carried forward.
Yeah, I'm excited to potentially see. I mean, he's going to be in Ahsoka. It's how much is he going to be in there?
Like I said, my feelings are season 1 they're going to find Ezra. Season 2 is where we'll see them all unite.
It's going to be interesting to see Zeb and Ezra reunite.
Because
old bunk buddies.
I could just see them. They have to hug. Man, they have to hug it out.
Well, not if Ezra's not who
he could
we think he might be.
You don't know.
Ezra might be. I'm sticking by my guess that something's going to be wrong with Ezra. Something is going to be terribly wrong with him after all this time. But what that is, we'll have to wait and see.
Well, and
or it could be wrong.
Next week we are actually discussing Ezra.
Ooh, we're up to Ezra.
Yeah,
already.
we are up to Ezra. We're moving into the mainline characters of the show because we are getting so much closer. We've got Ezra, Thrawn, Ahsoka. We've got some of the big uns coming, as well as a couple other little nods I have planned.
Okay. All right, well, that's going to be all we got for you this time. So now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think about the story of Zeb. Are you excited to potentially see him again in Ahsoka, or maybe not so much? Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below, and let's talk some Star Wars. And until next time, thanks for watching.